Thank you very much, Desmond. I can only endorse what's been said about the pitch. I was here yesterday for Arsenal versus Leicester, and the magic carpet looks just as pristine now as it did then. Wonderful scene. And in one sense, Chelsea have already won this semi-final by 2-1. They have 20,000 fans welcoming the teams inside Highbury. Wimbledon in the red. Chelsea having sold all their full allocation of tickets. So there'll be plenty of response at that end of the ground, but you've also got to remember that Wimbledon, having sold only about 10,000 of their 15,000 allowance, maybe more, partly because they limited sales to season ticket holders and crazy gang members, as they call them. But then, when haven't Wimbledon made light of any disadvantage? It's a colourful carnival scene here. And what Wimbledon have got is a record at Highbury that's second to none. It's 10 years since they've lost here, 3 wins and 6 draws in their last 9 visits. And despite their indifferent league form, Joe Kinnear is happy to field the side that won at Sheffield Wednesday in the 6th round. Those injured, rested and suspended in midweek are all available today. Captain Vinnie Jones, the only Wimbledon survivor from the team that won the Cup in 1988. And here's another Cup winner alongside me, Trevor Brooking.
Well, it's a very settled Wimbledon side that's been successful, of course. I think, the back four keeps it very tight, push up and sometimes play the offside. Certainly Gale and Okuku have had super seasons, but I do believe that Earl and Leonardson, who joined from midfield, Earl who scored in each of the previous rounds, if they are going to win Wimbledon, I think one of those could be on the score sheet.
Now the real surprises come in the Chelsea team selection, where both normal wing-backs are out. Dan Petrescu injured, Scott Minto dropped to substitute. Erland Johnsen comes into the defence, and there are places for Craig Burley and Eddie Newton. Mark Hughes, the Cup campaigner who seems to always do well on these occasions, has been past fit. Gianluca Vialli is on the bench.
Well, it looks like a selection to battle against Wimbledon. LeBoeuf is a spare man, then 3 sort of markers to compete. Of course, in midfield, also Burley alongside Newton. That will add to that tackling element, I would believe. And of course, up front, Hughes and Zola. Can they get the service from their midfield? Because that pairing does look potentially goal-scoring, doesn't it?
Well, talking of Mark Hughes, he will now be staying at Chelsea for 2 more seasons. His contract will be extended for a further year, I'm told this morning by Colin Hutchinson, the club's managing director, who met Hughes' advisors as recently as Friday. So that seems like good news for Ruud Gullit and the Chelsea squad. Gullit, who scored in the semi-final last season at Villa Park, putting Chelsea ahead against Manchester United. But then it all went wrong. They had injuries and they lost 2-1. The referee here, Gerald Ashby, who figured in a Highbury incident a few weeks ago, the Robbie Fowler-David Seaman penalty shout. But his mind and that of Vinnie Jones can now only be focused on this FA Cup semi-final, for which both teams have eventually had to change colours. There was some discussion about that, but in the end, neither is in blue. Chelsea are wearing the yellow strip, playing in the first half from left to right. Wimbledon are in red shirts and black shorts, which they regard as something of a lucky strip. And away we go for the right to play at Wembley in the FA Cup final. And immediately the first foul, it was Steve Clarke who was fouled by Ardley, and there's a card. First yellow card in the first few seconds.
Well, I think the Wimbledon players aren't too happy. It was this time more than malicious, but I think Gerald Ashby very conscious that this game could get out of hand if he allows too many rash challenges in the first few minutes of the game. I thought Steve Clarke did a few extra rolls than was necessary, but it is an early yellow card.
Well, Wimbledon have been top of the Fair Play League this season, contradicting their previous reputation, but Ardley, who's having a chat with Wise, the former Wimbledon player, commits the first foul here. in the opening seconds. It did give me the chance to notice that Steve Clarke appears to be playing on the left-hand side.
Yes, I think it is going to be a sort of almost a flattish back four, though LeBoeuf will be the spare man, so Steve Clarke, who's been playing one of the central defenders, is almost going to be a left back today.
Now the right-hand side here, we've got Sinclair and Burley in front of him. That's how Chelsea have started. That's too high for Zola. Robbie Earle, number 8 for Wimbledon. Wow. Zola picks him up. Got a feeling this could be a bit physical.
Well, I think in the first 10 minutes of any semi-final, there's a few challenges go in. Also, as a play, you like to get a good early touch, to good little pass or two to settle your nerves down.
Sullivan took the free kick for Wimbledon, looking for Marcus Gale.
I think the first of the long throws is about to come.
Yes, it's Vinnie Jones here, with Gale taking up the position nearer to him, and Efenakoku far post. Robbie Earle is in there as well for the header. This is where they're dangerous. Here comes Kenny Cunningham, and that's Leonardson. One other point is that Chelsea have named a substitute goalkeeper among their three, young Nick Colgan. Wimbledon haven't.
Well, it's a gamble, because in the FA Cup you only had the 3 substitutes. Joe Kinnear's decided he might need extra options out on the pitch. Ruud Gullit has just thought about that dreadful possibility of an injury to the goalkeeper, so he's only got sort of, well, I suppose Vialli and Minto are the 2 on the pitch, but Vialli would be the one that perhaps if they went down would definitely come on.
Chelsea had a funny old season when it comes to goalkeepers, but Frode Grodos will be hoping to put all that behind him today. That was Vinnie Jones, the free kick been given in Wimbledon's favour. And this is where they are ominous when they pack those fellows in near the penalty spot. Ekoku, Earle and Gale, with Vinnie Jones going in to make the 4th man. Needs good marking here. It was Erland Johnsen, back in by Cunningham, and then lofted by offside.
There's 2 good headers from Erland Johnsen. One was the long throw from Vinnie Jones, who's getting a few boos there from the Chelsea supporters behind that goal, and then from the free kick with Alan Kimball, who delivers an excellent ball. Another good header from Johnson, and so already showing why he's been included today.
Bold start by Wimbledon. Here's Sinclair for Chelsea. That's looking for Di Matteo, and it's Kimball. Johnsen really staying close to Ekoku and winning it. Mark Hughes. This is Øyvind Leonardsen, the Norwegian. Forward by Kimball, looks for Marcus Gale, Frank LeBoeuf, and Grodos. Dean Blackwell. And Craig Burley, who's got a score to settle with semi-finals. He had a horrendous moment last year against Manchester United. Leonardson. Ekoku to his left, Gale in the middle. This is Ekoku. Ardley's making a run in from the far side, and Vinnie Jones is well forward here. Burley helped LeBoeuf out.
Good pressure from Wimbledon there. Leonardson, who released Ekoku first of all. Once they lost possession, closed LeBoeuf down, and we've got another long throw. I wonder how many, I think this is the second so far. I wonder how many we'll get through in 90 minutes.
Yes, Jones is looking towards Marcus Gale on the 6-yard line. Ekoku is just behind him near the goalkeeper. Earle is in there too. Grodos punches, and it's fallen for Di Matteo for Chelsea. Steve Clarke made a good break out on the left-hand side when possession was won. Hughes. Zola, but couldn't find him on that occasion. There's a little conversation ensues between the 2 Italians there. Meantime, it's a goal kick.
The second of the long throws, Grodos has got the ball now. I don't think dealt with it very well. It was a one-handed punch. It didn't get good distance. It bobbled its way to the edge of the penalty area. He's not happy dealing with those crosses. I think quite a few goalkeepers would have caught that one because it was quite a high delivery from Vinnie Jones, and that's the area that Wimbledon have to try and pick up the pieces.
Headed by Kenny Cunningham, but he was shoved by Mark Hughes. It's a free kick. Joe Kinnear, the Wimbledon manager, animated. And I'm sure it's going to stay like that. His opposite number, Hullet, tends to stay rather cool, but we'll see in the heat of a semi-final whether he can keep that expression. Chris Perry is good in the air, particularly for his size. That's a foul by Erland Johnsen. It's going to be a free kick to Wimbledon, and they won't be complaining about these. Kimball, the left footer, as you said, tends to organise these kicks with Ardley. But it's the four players gathered on the 18-yard line who present Chelsea with the poser here. It will be Kimball. It's too long for all of them.
Well, he usually delivers an excellent ball, Alan Kimball. That was a bit central, really. Not easy just to dink a little ball to the penalty spot. I would have liked to see him spread the ball wide, and then it's a much better angle to come in. But I've noticed on the 2 or 3 crosses that have come into that penalty area, Grodas has just stayed on his line, and sometimes he makes the wrong decision. Well, perhaps he's just decided today to stay on his line all the 90 minutes and let the defenders compete.
Well, we'll see as it unfolds, but certainly Wimbledon have had more of the play so far. That's Chris Perry. Good play by Chelsea this time. That was Burley to Sinclair. Back again to Burley. 3 runners ahead of him. Sinclair again. Hughes waits for the cross. Wise is in there too. So is Zola. Offside flag was up anyway, but the referee doesn't have to stop the game. Here's Leboeuf. Zola back to Burley. Eddie Newton in a position to receive a pass, but they're looking for Hughes.
There's a little bit of possession Chelsea have had. I mean, it's the contrast, isn't it? Wimbledon knock it forward very quick and early. Chelsea like a more patient build-up, and they've got to get a few touches and 1 or 2 of their players come into the game.
It was Burley inside to Hughes. Blackwell couldn't get his tackle in. Hughes across to Clark, the longest serving Chelsea player. He went off injured in last year's semi-final, I recall. Now Eddie Newton. Just a reminder to those of you who would need it, not if you've seen a lot of semi-finals in recent years, but there is provision for extra time today, followed obviously, if it wasn't decided then, by a replay here. Well, Johnsen started very firmly there against Ikoku. This is Hughes. And now Burley. Zola's made a run down this side. Di Matteo's up in the middle with Hughes. And here comes Di Matteo now. Hughes and Wise are far post. Away by Robbie Earle, but how far? Needed another helping touch from Vinnie Jones, but Chelsea still have it with Sinclair. Hughes has got his arm up for a diagonal cross. Here's Zola. Leonardson. Marcus Gale. Surrounded by yellow shirts. Wise. That was Kimball. Rodos with a real rangy kick towards Mark Hughes, and Hughes just spotting the header back, which was safe enough by the Wimbledon captain Jones. Semi-finals do tend to be cautious, tight affairs in general. This is Leonardson. Oh, and he's got away from Leboeuf.
Looked dangerous, didn't he, down that side, Leonardson. Good ball from Kimball. I think Chelsea mustn't allow him a free throw out as they did from Neil Sullivan, because he delivers a good ball. Leonardson turned Leboeuf and just got the shot blocked, and it trickled through to Groders. But at the moment, definitely Wimbledon have an edge, I think.
Well, a series of free kicks and throw-ins in Wimbledon's favour in this opening 12 minutes. But the two defensive lines holding their shape. And he's getting length on his kicks, Brodos, but not much direction there.
At the moment, I mean, it is difficult. Chelsea like to get the ball down and pass it on this top, but when you're playing against Wimbledon, your rhythm is so disrupted by the way they play, and you actually get dragged into knocking balls long yourselves, and that's what Chelsea mustn't do.
That was good play by Marcus Gale, but hurriedly cleared by Leboeuf. Di Matteo finding Burley. Chelsea have 4 players ahead of him here in attack. Sinclair, Di Matteo. Zola starts to make a run, then has to check because the ball didn't come. Instead it's a Koku for Wimbledon. Robbie Earle to his right, and now Leonardson. Kimball. And that's going towards Koku on the far side. Johnson won the header. Ardley is up. Koku again. Here's Gale and Leboeuf. Chelsea player down injured. Frank Sinclair. Well, Mike Banks, the Chelsea physio, was a busy man in last year's semi-final. I remember Steve Clarke and Terry Phelan both having to go off, and they'll be hoping that the fullback this year, Sinclair, having been injured in that aerial battle with Marcus Gale, won't be as badly cut up as they were.
I think he was more shaken, wasn't he, by the fall rather than any collision of the head. He's winded, and he's playing more right back today, filling in that role. But Dan Petrescu, a stronger defender, but his distribution isn't as good as Petrescu in attacking situations. They'll miss the remaining.
Petrescu missed that semi-final last year as well with suspension, so he's been very unlucky. Just couldn't really train flat out yesterday, and in the end it was decided he couldn't be risked. Mr. Attenborough there with the hat, a keen Chelsea supporter. I've seen Sir Richard at quite a few games over the past few years when Chelsea have been in action. Questioning look on the face of Mark Hughes, who's had more semi-finals than most people have had hot dinners. He's very familiar with the big stage, and always a threat upon it. But here's a Wimbledon threat with a Koku. Now it's Zola, who hasn't been in the game yet, but he might get there now. He's got away from Vinnie Jones. Hughes has made one run, Di Matteo's made another.
Mark Hughes went one way and checked the other. Zola looked down to play it where he originally thought he was going, and just it broke down at that stage. I thought down the right-hand side was where perhaps Wimbledon were a little bit vulnerable at times against Sheffield Wednesday. Carboni, I thought, made some good little runs, particularly in the second half, and I wondered if Zola would play a little bit rightish to try and expose that. But at the moment, they've not been able to get the ball down. That was the only chance he's had to run at the Wimbledon defence.
It's a good header by Perry. In fact, the central defenders at both ends of the pitch have started so they're going to win every ball in the air, but whether they will or not, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, that's high-ish. That wasn't malicious by Kimball, but it caught Zola. The referee decides no intent, and lets play go on. This is Newton. Zola's on his feet again. Hughes. Blackwell. Offside Zola.
two aggressive challenges. Mark Hughes followed up after the decision there, because I think that really should have been a foul against Zola. He definitely got chopped by Kimball, and
there's a
yellow card.
There's a yellow card been shown here, I think, to Zola. Whether he dissented from the decision or whether it was the earlier challenge.
He should have got the free kick, there's no doubt. Kimball caught him with his forearm, and once that was allowed to go on, Zola then threw it away, the ball, and has got penalised.
Yes, it was for throwing the ball away rather than anything he said, but we've now got a yellow card shown by Mr. Ashby to one player from each side, and we've only been playing 16 minutes. The referee is not going to stand any nonsense here. Former cup final official. And a piece of petulance by the Italian was promptly punished.
Well, Zola and Ardley wouldn't have been my two first choices for yellow cards in this game, I must say.
This is Hughes. Vinnie Jones got a foot in. It was cleared by Chris Perry, and that was a header offside. Offside of Koku. They're very similar in some ways, Koku and Gale, but they do work well together. You'll see Gale here flick the ball on, and Koku is just offside.
Yeah, there's a yard or two in it. They're both pacey, but Koku, once he gets away, I don't think anyone would have called him, but just got to time the runs. But that was a typical Wimbledon through ball, high, down the middle. One gets the flick on and the other goes.
And behind them, Robbie Earle, equally dangerous, who's scored in every round of the cup so far. This is Eddie Newton for Chelsea. Di Matteo, Zola, Leonardson. It's a bit like catch-up at the moment. One team gets the ball and the other side promptly gets it back, but Chelsea here with Newton trying to put a few passes together, but again, interception. And this time, Gale's flick doesn't reach Koku. That header was by Burley, who's been playing in Scotland's World Cup team recently, and has now got his place back in the Chelsea side. All a bit cramped and crowded, isn't it? And look at the marking there inside the Chelsea half, but there's the header on. Zola. Burley, Chelsea searching for space to play their football. Wimbledon have denied it to them so far, but this is Di Matteo. And Hughes spins away to the left here. There's danger. Zola's in the middle, so is Wise. This is still Mark Hughes.
Well, I think if Mark Hughes had had a left foot, he'd have taken it on the turn and hit it with his left, but he's come back inside, trying to get it on his favoured right, got crowded out, and it was a bobbler in the end. But up to now, Wimbledon have defended and closed the Chelsea down well, and have not had a clear opening.
That was Koku, who was away with Nigeria this time last week, but returned for the midweek game. Dean Holdsworth, who might have played if Koku hadn't got back, is on the bench today. As is Vialli, as I said, for Chelsea, after a lot of headlines during the week. Forward by Sinclair. There's an offside flag up against Mark Hughes. So here we have a situation, Trevor, where both teams are playing a flat back four. It doesn't happen too often these days, does it?
Well, it's a fairly scrappy affair as far as a semi-final footballing classic. I wouldn't call it at the moment, and that probably favours Wimbledon. They'll be quite happy to see that opening 20 minutes as it's gone, because it's Chelsea who have struggled to find any attacking rhythm.
That was a nice touch by Hughes to Wise. He's got Zola on the left. Di Matteo is the player furthest forward in the centre here for Chelsea. Cunningham is up against Zola. Di Matteo makes a run again, so does Hughes. Newton. Back again to Zola. survives the tackle. Wise, Clark out left. Hughes jostling for position in the middle here. Newton again. Di Matteo spinning away to our side of the pitch. Burley, Clark. Turns away from Ardley. This is Wise. Still got Clark outside him. And in the end, it's a tussle between Newton and Gale. And it is rather scrappy, you're right.
Well, it's scrappy, and Chelsea haven't got a natural left footer in the team, and that means when they go down that left-hand side, you know, we've seen Hughes come inside, and it's Wise who can use both feet, but he turned inside. Steve Clark, who's playing left-back, is a natural right footer. He turned inside, so they're not going to find it easy to get to the byline and get natural crosses in with a left footer.
Cunningham takes the free kick for Wimbledon. Akoku gets a flick on it.
Well, the Chelsea line are looking across the 18-yard and saying, how did Akoku get clear? Because if it had been slightly under hit, the offside had broken down, and I think it was Frank Sinclair, the right back, who played everyone on.
This is Chelsea's fourth consecutive semi-final of one sort or another. 3 in the FA Cup, 1 in Europe. And reached one final, that was in 1994 when they lost to Manchester United. There's Cunningham. So Wimbledon can say that they've won the FA Cup more recently than Chelsea, who last won it in 1970 against Leeds.
The thing about having two sides playing more or less a flat back four is that, you know, they like to squeeze up once the goalkeeper's got the ball, and so that means we get that situation where you get sort of 20 outfield players cramped either side of the halfway line. There's very little space then for the ball players to get on the ball and try and have an influence. There's the classic viewpoint. Yeah, try and find a bit of space in that lot there.
Point proved. Forward by Dean Blackwell. In by Kenny Cunningham. Ball, was it? No. Referee is letting this go whenever he can. It's a bit of a dive in by Leonardson on Newton, but Chelsea did very well to work that ball out with Wise. He's got 2 to his right and 2 ahead of him. Sinclair, it's Wise with the shot. Sinclair to his right was screaming for it. Wise just gives him a look.
Well, Vinnie Jones and Oivin Leonardson were left stranded upfield. They had an extra man. Dennis Wise used the overlapping runner Sinclair. Got his shot on target, but was straight at Sullivan. A comfortable save.
Now then, Sinclair on Gale. Free kick to Wimbledon in dangerous territory.
Chelsea will try and hold the 18-yard box. They don't want to creep too far back on Grodus.
Now Koku's taken up the furthest position on the far side, marked by Erland Jonsson. Starts his run now. And so does Vinnie Jones. Oh, and Grodus did well. But it's come out to Cunningham. He had 2 players coming in on him, the goalkeeper, Marcus Gale. And that's floating to safety. Well, that was a test for the Scandinavian goalkeeper.
He was reluctant to come, but he had to come. They were onside. This time a right footer from Ardley. They've broken the offside, and if he hadn't come and got that, as you can see, Akoku and Jones were in there. Good goalkeeping. That might have done him a lot of good.
Hughes, Burley, Wise creeping up on the far side of the area now, beyond Hughes. Di Matteo's in there too. Ardley for Wimbledon. Leboeuf. Spreading it, but Cunningham read it. This is Steve Clark, and he can't get it forward to Wise. And Ardley for Wimbledon. It's hectic, isn't it? Wise. Burley's going through the centre here for Chelsea. Number 14 sets up Hughes. Zola's running on this side. Zola against Blackwell. And it's still Zola.
Well, that was the best move of the match. Burley running from deep, knocked it back to Hughes. Zola then got released. There's the ball from Hughes. He accelerates then past Blackwell, wrong foots him, who commits himself to block it, and I think then he should square it to Dennis Wise. That's a tight angle to beat Sullivan, and Dennis Wise was facing the goal.
That's a Koku tumbling with Sinclair. Well, Zola has squeezed those shots in before at the near post, hasn't he? I think he just fancied trying to surprise Sullivan there.
They're great when they go in. I mean, you know, against Manchester United, of course, he came inside, didn't he, and made a much better opening angle to put the ball in at the near post. There he was much narrower. Dennis Wise has run a long way to come into the 18-yard box and should have got it squared. You say that, of course, when he actually has had the shot saved, but it would have been a bad goal for Sullivan to let in.
This is Hughes. Di Matteo's made a run through the centre, pushing forward when he can from midfield. Clark and Wise still trying to get something going over on the left-hand side. That's Wise's ball into Zola.
That's a better little spell from Chelsea. Better build-up, more controlled and more threatening. And it's a warm day, and that's why I think over 90 minutes it's going to be very difficult to Wimbledon to run and harass and close down Chelsea for all that time, and the longer the game goes on, a little bit more space might develop for the likes of Zola.
Well, Robbie Earle hasn't got into the game yet in midfield. He's being shadowed really by Eddie Newton when Wimbledon come forward. They know all about his goal potential. This is Burley.
Just took his eye off the ball. He actually is a spare man. Craig Burley's a good outlet for everyone, because Sinclair's picking up Leonardson when he runs from midfield. As you say, Newton's on Earle, and that means Burley has got the space for Chelsea, and Kimball probably on this side has got the space for Wimbledon. Let's see who's more effective at using it.
There was a little bit of a cheer went round the ground there. I'll tell you why in a second. This is Gale looking for a chance against Johnson, who was sound again. Now it's Ardley. Cunningham's moved forward into the Wimbledon attack. They've got plenty in here now. And there's Robbie Earle, trying to emulate those who scored in every round of the FA Cup. It hasn't been done right through to the final since Peter Osgood for Chelsea in 1970. But Robbie Earle has been one of Wimbledon's scorers in every round so far.
He's got terrific spring, and although Eddie Newton's right next to him, if you've got a duel like that, I think Robbie Earle will win most of them. What Chelsea have got to make sure that they don't allow Neil Ardley to get to the byline and cross the ball in that dangerous situation like he did on that occasion.
The cheer that went up was because, that's offside, was because Vialli had a little trot down the touchline, so I'm certain only just to keep loose, but there's been so much attention focused on this man this week, Gianluca, sitting next to Ruud Gullit, so they've obviously formed a bond of some sort. Here's Robbie Earle. Koku is on that side as well. This is Ardley. Leonardson joins Gale in the penalty area for Wimbledon. And Ardley does well. And that's tucked back in straight to the goalkeeper.
Neil Ardley coming across the 18-yard box there, came inside Dennis Wise, and Clark was just a bit wary of going in on a tackle and giving a penalty away, but nothing came of it.
As yet, you'd be hard-pushed to recall what you'd say was a clean scoring chance after half an hour. One or two... Is it Burley coming up on the right-hand side? One or two might have been, but Chelsea here have a corner. It's their first, and Erland Johnsen and Frank Sinclair will come up. And... we've talked about Wimbledon at set plays. Chelsea have one or two six-footers in there. That was Johnson, and then it was Cunningham. LeBeuf, cool as you like, to Zola. Hughes makes a run across, he's offside.
Yeah, had to go in earlier there. LeBeuf, we just saw, his strength. He got hold of it, switched the play to this right-hand side, just got held up, and Wimbledon do hold that 18-yard line well. And once Mark Hughes went into the penalty area, the old flag was up.
That was Leonardson. And now it's Sinclair. That's Blackwell covering Hughes. Blackwell is Wimbledon's quickest defender.
Oh, just over half an hour gone, and you can't say either of the sides have had the advantage in this opening period. It's very congested, tight, and chances isolated.
Foul given against Efan Ekoku. Now, it reminds me of many semi-finals gone by where there's not much to choose between the teams, and they're often, or have often, been settled by one moment of inspiration or aberration, or at times good fortune. Forward by Sinclair. Here's Hughes. This is Eddie Newton for Chelsea. Again, Wise taking the left side. Once more it's Newton. Zola sets up Wise. Di Matteo running on this side of the area. Jones plays it back to Kimball. Forward by LeBeuf. Now Wimbledon have got to backpedal. Hughes is up. Here comes Newton. Cunningham and Earl. Ardley. And here comes Marcus Gale. He's got Ekoku with him. He's got Leonardson in the centre. That was good control by Gale on the left foot. And Ardley comes up in support. Ekoku waits for a cross, so does Earl.
As Craig Burley got back very well for the header. But, the offside trap was broken again. I thought Marcus Gale might have been fractionally offside. Ekoku was running through, but it was Gale who received possession. And at the moment, once or twice, just the new look back four has been caught with somebody playing one of them on.
That was Steve Clark. And that was Craig Burley. Now, further examination of Chelsea in the air. Sinclair wasn't challenged, actually. Able to get it away, only as far as Chris Perry, who dutifully lofts it back in similar fashion. Just needs somebody to try and get their foot on the ball and create something, but the way the match is being played, it's far easier said than done.
Well, it's not easy to get your foot on the ball when the ball's up in the air most of the time, and that is the problem. I mean, as a footballing spectacle, it's poor quality, but it's a case. History will look back. Whoever got through this semi-final, they won't remember perhaps what the quality was like, and the prize, of course, at Wembley and FA Cup final is great.
This is Di Matteo for Chelsea. Wise has gone to his right now. Hughes is in the centre. It's Dennis Wise. A couple of players losing their footing there. Burley gets it back from Di Matteo. Thought about putting it in early. That's a better ball to Wise. He's got Zola and Hughes to his left. Flags up for offside against Mark Hughes.
It says it's just about to be played. Here's a yard or two off. The flag goes up. Mark Hughes, well, about half a dozen times he's been caught out. He's probably hoping over the whole of the period of the game he'll get through once.
Well, Jonsson took that away from Grodos. Fortunately for them, there was no Wimbledon player near enough to take advantage. Now Sinclair gets himself into a tight corner. Now 35 minutes has gone by. Neither goalkeeper extended. Only in terms of collecting the ball and dispatching it back whence it came. Here's Kimball. And that's offside against a coach. We're so used to seeing teams play with wing-backs and 3 central defenders this season, Trevor, that suddenly you get a 4-4-2 on both sides and everybody pushing up, and it's, it's joking here there. It's really not easy for the forwards. Anyway, here goes Hughes. He's onside this time. He's got Burley outside him. Zola is there coming in, so is Wise, taken away from him by Cunningham.
So it was a good cross, but when the 2 people in there are Dennis Wise and Zola, I don't think a high ball's the answer. I think it's better driving it across the face of the goal low.
Steve Clark. Offside again. Well, neither team's recent league form gave us much of a clue. They've both been below their best in the Premiership, and there's not much of a clue here today, but there's a man who once wrote his name in Wimbledon history, Lawrie Sanchez, scorer of the goal in 1988 that beat Liverpool. Didn't want to remind Alan Hansen about that.
Yeah, the old Wimbledon lads reckon he looked more like an ice cream salesman today with that jacket.
He always says, you know, that he'll never be remembered for that goal because Dave Besant, of course, made the penalty save, which people seem to recall rather more readily. But Sanchez got the winner from a free kick by Wise, who's now, of course, playing on the other side. That's Johnson. Cunningham. Hardley. Foul. Steve Clark concedes the free kick.
This is an angle that is dangerous, and Kimball trotting over there, and it'll be a left-footed one. Let's see if Grodus is in a position to come to that penalty spot again.
Well, the lineup in front of the defenders is Gale, Ekoku, Jones, Earl. And Leboeuf gets there first. Not a good delivery from Kimball. Now Gale. The header back for Leonardson to compete. Robbie Earl is there. That's possibly the best effort of the half.
That's not saying a lot if it is, because that was a looping overhead. I think Grodus had plenty of time. Good early throw from Vinnie Jones. Gal heads it back across, bobbles around and bounces, and this is when you just got to compete, and Grodus was always going to comfortably take that.
Yes, my comments said more about the half than about the shot, Trevor, I'd agree. But here's a Koku trying to press Leboeuf. And now Burley. Well, they haven't got much joy down either flank, have either side. This is Di Matteo. Stalemate, really. Cunningham. Earl's made a good run now. Marked by Leboeuf. Well, there was some confident passing by Chelsea there in their own half. Until it got to Sinclair, who then had a bit of a job getting past Leonardson, but he's seen Di Matteo making a run. That's a great ball. The goalkeeper's out of his goal, and Di Matteo puts it into the centre, and it's cleared by Blackwell. Sullivan might have made a misjudgment there.
Yeah, I think Di Matteo did see him coming. His just first touch put him a bit wide, and he couldn't clip it because Sullivan by then was scampering back towards his goal. But he just covered it, and once it was not going to be an opportunity to get to it, he made the return to the goal line. Because early in the season, because he did have 1 or 2 goals, didn't he, which sailed over his head.
Signs that Chelsea might be getting their passing game going. This is Sinclair. It's Di Matteo. No, well wide.
That was a good chance. He should have done better than that. Player of his quality. They're just finding that little bit of space, and over a period of time, with the weather as it is, they should do that. Look at that. He's not under pressure on his right foot. Should hit the target at least.
As a spectacle, the game does need somebody to get a shot in the right direction now. On by Jones. Leonardson. Leboeuf. Clark with Zola ahead of him. Perry goes across, number 12. Chelsea get the corner. Wise and Zola are over by the flag. Sinclair has come forward with Johnson. Burley's there too. Hughes, no, well, he didn't make it, but neither in the first place did Sullivan. Oh, that's really well done by Dean Blackwell. He was out the game for nearly 2 years with a serious injury, but he's come back strong this season, the number 5. Header by Gale. Ekoku, now Leonardson. Johnson's acquitted himself well in the first half. One of the surprise selections today. Now great ball to Zola. Di Matteo's inside him. He's got Wise going outside him now. Hughes in the middle with Burley. And Hughes! Yes! Chelsea have scored! And who else could it be but Mark Hughes? Was injured in the scramble, but here, as Wise puts the ball in, Burley goes in first, it drops for Hughes, and Chelsea take the lead.
That's a great ball then from Zola to Wise, comes back across, Kimball blasts it away, it hits Hughes, drops kindly, and he tacks it in. This is a good crosser. Across the face of the 6-yard box, Burley coming in, Kimball tries to volley it away, it hits Hughes, drops right on his foot, and he just tucks it away. All made, though, by a wonderful pass by Frank Leboeuf out of defence across the field to Zola.
It was a great ball by Leboeuf that started it. Craig Burley is off the pitch receiving attention after being injured in the build-up to the goal. So Chelsea are down to 10 men, but they're 1 up. And what do we say about Mark Hughes? Always the man for the big occasion. Relishes and revels in FA Cup semi-finals and finals. And the seasoned warrior has made the first incision in what was becoming a very tight semi-final. Dennis Wise with a floated cross. As you say, Kimball tangling with Burley, and Hughes, well, he won't score many easier ones, but it might be one of his most important, certainly for Chelsea. Burley is back on the pitch. The Chelsea fans are in full voice.
Well, just before half-time, great moment to get your side ahead, because Mark Hughes didn't score in the 3rd round. He scored in each of the previous rounds now, other than that one, and as you say, important that he was fit today. He had certain doubt with a groin injury, but I couldn't see him not making the start of the game. And now, of course, Wimbledon have just got to rethink, and usually in these situations, I wouldn't be surprised me early in the second half, Joe Kinnear could then put Dean Holdsworth as a 3rd striker and play 3 up, and be interested to see if he does it straight away at half-time or waits to see the opening 15 minutes of the second half. But I think Holdsworth will come on fairly early.
That'll be going through Joe Kinnear's mind, certainly. Just a little cautionary reminder to anybody supporting Chelsea that they were 1-0 up this time last year in the semi-final against Manchester United. Pullet will remember that because he scored from Hughes' cross. And they lost 2-1, so there's a way to go yet. Wimbledon have a free kick coming up to half-time. Chelsea now need to assemble their defence. Kimball puts the ball down. Jones joins the 3 in the middle. Blackwell comes up as well. This is Dean Blackwell now. They look back on that goal, they will, I'm sure, pinpoint that wonderful pass by Frank Leboeuf that just opened up the whole pitch, which is really what it needed, wasn't it?
Well, I think we're going to have a better second half just because one of them has gone ahead now, but Frank Leboeuf, his distribution, he doesn't often in these games get the time to do it because, you know, you're under so much pressure from Wimbledon, but that was a wonderful crossfield ball. That is the difference between perhaps the 2 sides at the moment. I think Erland Johnson has done well at the back as well. I mean, he's come into the team, he's not been a regular, and looks as if he could be going back to Scandinavia in the summer, but he's competed very well in the air alongside Leboeuf.
first strike goes Chelsea's way. And the referee brings the half to a close with the West London club on a high and their South West London neighbours ruining the fact that Mark Hughes was on hand for the only real opening of the half. And if you'd written it in advance, I suppose you would have said one of the foreigners would have played a part in something today. Leboeuf certainly did. And Hughes, who's pretty good at living up to the storybook stuff himself, put it away with consummate ease. Half-time then here at Highbury in the FA Cup semi-final. Wimbledon 0, Chelsea 1.
Well, I think we should have a better game as a result of that goal, shouldn't we? Because until that went in, it was a mighty scramble, and Chelsea never really got their football together, did they? Didn't have a chance to, did they?
The game was dire to watch, but Wimbledon are very good at spoiling
Don't
the game.
switch off, by the way. Might have
They're
been
very good at spoiling the game. Football is all about strengths and weaknesses. If you think that is your strength, going and spoiling and making it scrappy, then I haven't got any problem with that. But now they're going to have to try and change their tactics because of one goal down. The game needed a goal. I think it's got to get better in the second half.
Right. Chelsea had done pretty well defending anything that came in the air against them, though, didn't they,
Yes,
Jim?
they have.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one thing. They nullified that threat.
Yeah.
But they've looked uneasy, as if they know they haven't got their best team out. And another reason has been the absence of left-footed players on that side. And strangely enough, of course, when we come to look at the goal, it's Wise, a right-footed player, who puts over a perfect cross with his left foot.
Yeah.
You know, but they still are slightly unbalanced. They've got players who are not used to being in those positions and not used to being in the team, who are looking as if they're playing in a semi-final. Nerves, you know, they don't look, they've thrown the ball away needlessly with 10-yard side-foot passes and things like that, which you don't expect in a team of that quality.
I wonder what somebody like Zola thinks about playing in this kind of match. I mean, having come
Different. He'll think it's different.
He will think it's different as the word.
Yeah, different, yeah.
Different as the English word he will have found by now. But he was involved in the build-up to the goal, wasn't he?
One or two nice touches he's had, and it was a good ball from Leboeuf to Zola. This is a great ball and difficult to defend against. They've got a little bit of good fortune. Comes to Hughes in the back of the net. Maybe the keeper should have come and got it. I don't know.
That's Wise. Surprise ball, overlap on his left foot. Perfect first-time ball, scramble, but no doubt about the finish. And that's a lesson to all young players who are...
Great ball in between the goalkeeper and the back four. Difficult to defend against. They've got a little bit of good fortune, but he doesn't miss them, does he?
I suppose
man for the big occasion.
The defender did the right thing, didn't he? I mean, he tried to get it. Do you think perhaps his right foot might have come into play and he would...
Possibly should see his all left foot, isn't he?
Yeah.
If he hooks it with his right foot, then he'll get it away.
Yes.
But he's gone with his left foot.
Yeah.
And he's paid the penalty for that.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of people talk about professional players being too one-footed and not being able to use their other foot, you know, and Trevor refers to it occasionally in commentary. But there is a lesson there that Wise put that ball in with his left foot, and it was a perfect ball.
Right.
One that stretched the defence to the full, and it's, as I was saying, it's a lesson to kids to learn to use both their feet if
Keep
you
the
want
other
to be
foot
doubly
going,
effective.
practice with the other one. Now Zola, you know, had an attempt earlier on in that half, didn't he, when he came down our near side here, and might have tried to squeeze it in from a pretty
It was a
narrow
tight angle. Actually good build-up play. Burley to Hughes, first time. Zola coming in inside right position. Good first touch. And he's dangerous here because he looks as though he could cross it, but he comes back. And the
That's
angle,
great control, that,
yeah,
isn't
the control.
Yeah.
Complete control of it. Tight angle. Maybe he should pass it, but he's gone for goal.
Look at Blackwell on the floor. He left him for dead because he's so nimble. Just look here how quickly he pulls up. There's the extra acceleration you mentioned. Look at that. He's got half a yard, but then he turns. Look how quickly, and look where Blackwell is there on the floor. I mean, that's fantastic, and that's his ability.
Well,
he's a little gnome, but he uses the advantage that he has in spinning like that.
The one thing the defender mustn't do on that
He's
occasion.
got wonderful balance, hasn't he?
Don't dive in. Don't go on the ground because he can either cross it or he can cut back. Very dangerous.
Now, we always knew that Wimbledon would attack them in the air. They've got the front two who do it, and Earl scores a lot of headers too. He
Yeah,
had an
he's-
attempt here, didn't quite get this one, but
It's Ardley. He gets to the byline. This is a good cross, but Earl gets up well. Good spring, but he's a bit too far out, and it's a good bit over the bar.
He's had a quiet game.
Up to then we were wondering where he was, weren't we?
And that was the first time he actually got into the action. And it wasn't really in a position, I think he'd do well to beat the keeper from that situation out there. But I mean, that's their ineffectiveness. Chelsea have defended very, very well indeed, and Wimbledon have played like a team who have not got confidence, rising from recent victories and things like that. They don't appear to be at their best, and they're not terrorising Chelsea.
Okay. Now Zola got booked. We can't quite figure out why here, but we know that he took a bit of a punch on the jaw at some stage. I mean,
well, I felt, look, I mean, whether that was intentional or whatever, there's no doubt that he contacted his face, and he was very upset, Zola, by this. Not, I don't think, with the offside decision. He was upset the fact that he's got a sore face, and the referee did nothing about it. Now, he doesn't throw that ball away from the play. He's thrown it back to where the free kick is. If he'd thrown it in the other direction, I think maybe the referee could have.
It's a little bit of petulance.
It is dissent. It's a form of dissent which the whole crowd could see and acknowledge, and on that basis the referee's dignity was offended, and he said there's a yellow card.
Terrible decision.
You think that? Terrible. Well, it just seemed a bit petty, I thought.
Let's book him for that.
Zola got a smack in the face and a name in the book, and he won't forget it, but he also made the goal with that.
Thank you for the moment, because of course there were some vital matches that took place in the Premiership.
Andre, it's funny. Jimmy said it was me, it was picking him up. It wasn't. It was Gary Ablett.
Clearly it wasn't. Somebody wasn't.
Wasn't me.
No. He's saying nothing now.
That's the first time ever. Speechless.
Well, let's talk about this game.
It was so long ago when you played. I can't remember it.
Let's talk. Let's talk about this game. What's going to happen in the second half? I mean, can Wimbledon change much? They
can put Holdsworth on. I think that they'll probably play the same for 20 minutes. If things aren't going their way, then they've got to take a chance, and he'll be the man that comes on. He's obviously better on the deck than the other two players up front. They might go with the three up front and really have a go at him. I think that Laurie Sanchez is right. Earl has got to go and support the front two more than he has done in the first half.
We haven't seen much of him, have we?
He's a good player. He hasn't been in the game much. He's got a great goal-scoring record if he can get there into the box. And the quality of the balls into the box has got to be better as well from either flank.
You expect Chelsea to hang on to this lead, Jim?
I think it's more than possible, yes, but I think I agree with Alan on the Holdsworth line. Although you haven't been a manager, you're obviously showing promise there.
Yeah, he's learning.
I'd get him on as quickly as possible, quite honestly, because I don't think the other two are really comfortable chasing balls up front. They don't look effective.
Their business, though, Jim. That's what they do.
I know it is, but you don't tend to get more effective in using that kind of energy. You either unsettle people early on, or they get used to the tempo of it and they get in control of it. And I think Holdsworth is a player of talent. He's had his personal problems, but he should be over that now. And I think he adds another ingredient to Wimbledon's striking power. So obviously, Alan is showing signs of talent as a manager, but of course we lose him to the box if ever he decided to do it himself.
Luckily for him, he's never going to have to be. There we are, gentlemen. Let's go to Trevor and John for the second half. 1-0 Chelsea.
Well, we may or may not see Dean Holdsworth, but the fact is that Efe Nkoku will start the second half with his right arm heavily bandaged after a collision with a Chelsea player in the opening half, and just wonder how much that might affect him. Anyway, Wimbledon are a goal down in this Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup semi-final. The final itself will take place 5 weeks from this weekend. Saturday the 17th of May. That was Vinnie Jones going in fairly strongly with Di Matteo, who's down.
I'm not sure how Di Matteo conceded the free kick there. He got splattered, and just checking to make sure his front teeth are there, and he's given the free kick away.
Well, it's a chance for Wimbledon to launch an attack early in the second half, that's for certain. Chris Perry's going to have a word with Alan Kimball here before... Yes, Kimball will take it. Robbie Earle is signalling, so is Marcus Gale. It goes towards Gale. That was in fact Ardley. Leboeuf for Chelsea. Doesn't want to give away a corner if he can avoid it.
Right, a long throw from Vinnie Jones is almost the same. Now, important first few minutes for Chelsea now to defend well.
Yes, Marcus Gale is the nearer player to Jones of the two, but Robbie Earle is just behind him. But Chelsea have so far defended extremely well on these. Jones will try again. This time he goes for a shorter one. Away from Gale. Jones once more. Decent cross with Koku's at the far side. Goes towards Leonardson, but Dennis Wise was there for Chelsea. Sinclair with the header.
Good chasing back by Leonardson, but at the other end of the long throws, Erling Johnson again, two great headers at the near post and to help the Chelsea defensive situation. I think he's been very impressive, important part of their defensive unit.
He's played a significant part already in this FA Cup run. Perhaps not one that Leicester fans would want reminded of, but there we are. It was his run that brought about that controversial penalty in an earlier round. Now, Wimbledon with Gale. They need a strong, determined start to the second half, Wimbledon. It's a free, well, Wise is saying it must be a throw-in, but the free kick has apparently been put down and given. Now then, what can they do from this one? Oh, Gronos did ever so well. He punched clear from at least two Wimbledon players who were coming in, but it is a corner, and the assault is now on. Kimball will come across this side now, and Ekoku goes to the far post. Marcus Gale to the near post. Earle to the penalty spot. Vinnie Jones is in there too. So is Chris Perry. There's the cross from Ardley. Here's Perry. Oh, and it's come loose to Jones. Ardley again now. The flag was up there. The flag was up even before that cross came in. Leboeuf has reacted, had a pushing and shoving affair with Gale and Ekoku, but the whistle went well before that. There was a flag up on this side, probably for an offside, but Leboeuf didn't know that. I don't think Ekoku did, and when Gronos grabbed the ball, there was quite a scrap in there.
I think Ekoku did know the flag had gone up. He just clattered Grodas there, and I think there's been three physical challenges. Vinnie Jones on Di Matteo. Over the other side, Gale then had a go at Sinclair. And now Ekoku has also just clattered into the back of Grodas. And I think that team talk of half-time was a suggestion from Joe to get in amongst the opposition a bit more.
Yes, Wimbledon are fired up now. This is Erland Jonsson, who's been immaculate so far, as you said. Jones just winning a short one. It's a corner to be taken by Ardley, or is it going to be Kimball, because the two of them combine on these. Kimball, who will try the in-swinger again. Jones in the 6-yard box. Ekoku was up with Perry, and there's the overhead kick, which the Wimbledon captain attempts, but sends some way wide, Vinnie Jones.
Well, there would be no holding Vinnie Jones if it ended up with this scissors overhead. Got in the right position, didn't he? The end product not quite in keeping with it, but definitely good early pressure from Wimbledon, and this will got to sustain it now, because Chelsea can't just sit back on a 1-0 lead. They've got to go forward and try and get the second.
This is Mark Hughes! As you spoke, he nearly produced it out of very, very little. A screamer from Hughes.
A screamer was the right description. That's 30 yards out at least. He hit it very well. Always just over. If it was just under, I don't think Sullivan would have got to it. He hit it that well.
So the header on here is by Gale. Wise for Chelsea. Zola. Ardley for Wimbledon. Ekoku. And again. Now Kenny Cunningham. leaving it for Jones. In goes Robbie Earle to a forward position. Leboeuf wants it to run. The linesman says it did. It's a goal kick.
Robbie Earle trying to get forward in those positions into the penalty area. I think Neil Ardley's done quite well down the right-hand side. Normally, he's the one who makes way for Holdsworth when they're going to play 3 up, but I think he's done quite well, put some good crosses in for the run.
A lot of noise coming from the Chelsea contingent just at the moment. Semi-final day, very much one for the fans, of course. But you don't often say that if you lose, because semi-final losers quickly forgotten. At the moment, Wimbledon are on the wrong end of this 1-0 scoreline, but this is Ardley with the cross. It's drifting away from Ekoku. Leonardson tries to retrieve it, it's out.
Well, Ardley, good scoop ball from Vinnie Jones there down the line rather than take the long throw, but that time he overhit it. And Leonardson trying to keep it in play and just trickled out. But Chelsea, apart from the huge shot, have been very much on the back foot in this second half up to now. They've just got to, again, start getting the ball on the floor.
Bit of a breeze getting up now. This is Di Matteo to Zola. But the following wind in this semi-final so far favours Chelsea. Rodos, who's been under a lot of examination after the 2 recent matches, has performed bravely and sensibly in goal so far. Foul by Blackwell on Hughes. A breather for Chelsea. On the ball now, Dennis Wise with Di Matteo. Plays it square to Newton. Bit of space in front of him. Robbie Earle now there. Wise again. Burley outside. 4 the other way for Chelsea. 6 altogether in attack. Here comes Burley again. Linesman says corner. Assistant referee, pardon me. Mark Warren over there. Signalling it's a corner to Chelsea. And forward now comes Erland Johnsen and Frank Sinclair. Zola and Wise are the 2 players over by the flag. And Johnsen was in there. This is going to come out to Di Matteo, who stumbled over the ball now. A ball onto the left would have put Wimbledon in the clear, but instead it's Leboeuf. And Chelsea on the hunt again here. And is that going to be a penalty appeal? It is by Wise, but it won't be given.
I don't think his little legs were quite going to get there, and he looked for the penalty. Leboeuf won a vital tackle, thought he was going to go himself, slipped it through to Wise, and I think if he'd have tried to stay up and get the shot in himself, would be...
Hughes! Oh, put in there by Burley, forces the corner. Chelsea suddenly back at Wimbledon's throats. That was the ball by Leboeuf that set up the Wise run. Now, I think Trevor Brooking called that correctly, and the referee, so it's a corner to Chelsea. Zola. Johnsen in with the goalkeeper.
It was Kimball who got back to just a little toe end at the same time as Dennis Wise, but at least Chelsea have just relieved the pressure at the other end.
Yes, the game opened up for a moment there because that Leboeuf interception actually stopped a promising Wimbledon break.
I think Di Matteo was quite great because he'd stepped on the ball, hadn't he? And as you say, if Leboeuf hadn't made the tackle, they were clear.
Yes. Jones has gone across to take a long throw, presumably for Wimbledon. They haven't come off so far. Marcus Gale, hands-on hits, not now. It's going to come back out to Vinnie Jones. And back in again towards Robbie Earle here. Gronos. Oh, he's grown in confidence as the game has gone on. But he's sportingly thrown the ball out because, well, it's his own player, actually. It's, no, it's not. It's Robbie Earle. It's Robbie Earle who's hurt. So it was a sporting gesture by the Chelsea goalkeeper. In fact, Earle comes in here, number 8, to... No, I think he, yes, almost falls underneath the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think Grodas lands on the left ankle of Earle. That's the problem. As it comes over, good catch by Grodas. He tends to try and punch them one-handed, but this time he gets both hands. Look where his left foot lands on the ankle of Earl, and that's what the problem was.
Steve Allen, the Wimbledon physio, with some work to do here. I dare say that Wimbledon will be expected to give the ball back to Chelsea after what Grodos did then from the throw-in. Unless the referee decides he can bring it. Yes, that's what's happened. So Robbie Earl behind the goal for attention.
Well, we've had 10 minutes into the second half. Good early pressure from Wimbledon, but I do think it won't be long before Dean Holdsworth might be the additional option for Joe Gideon.
It's a header by Perry. Zola. Conscious it is Sunday lunchtime, so if anybody didn't see the first half, the goal by Mark Hughes, by which Chelsea lead, was a fairly straightforward affair, stabbed in from close range after Dennis Wise had crossed from the left. And it's really the only opportunity of its sort that we've seen. Here's Wise again from a poor ball by Cunningham. This is Steve Clark for Chelsea, who've got well forward here with Di Matteo. Wise goes to his left. Di Matteo!
Well, it was unlucky. Hit it well enough. I still think he should have got it on target, but it was a super run again by Dennis Wise. Very similar to the goal when Zola was in possession before. This time it was Di Matteo. He made the overlap. It wasn't given this time, and the man in possession had the shot. But there's Dennis Wise making the run, giving problems to the Wimbledon defence, and it was unlucky.
All the fans' arms went up in sync, didn't they, with the ball there. Chelsea supporters behind that goal, what used to be called the North Bank end here at Highbury. Now here's Leonardson, and it's a Koku with Leboeuf. Corner. Leboeuf is injured.
Well, it's good defending, but I think Koku swung to try and hit a ball that was never going to be there for him, and has hit Leboeuf instead.
Now, are they going to take the... Yes, they are. It's Gale near post. Jones is coming in as well. Oh, and Grodos punches away from four of them. Leonardson heads it back in. Chelsea defending desperately here at man short. Leboeuf's off the field. They want... Oh, there's a break on. It's Zola. And onto this side comes Di Matteo. Leboeuf is still off the field as Chelsea take the throw. This is Clark. Wise just inside him. Craig Burley up on the far side. Here comes Mark Hughes against Blackwell. This is Zola. This is Eddie Newton. Burley wants it again. It's still Burley. Now it's Newton. Leboeuf has come to the halfway line, trying to get back onto the pitch while all this is going on. Wise. Still the Chelsea... Oh yes, they've signalled him on. Frank Leboeuf is back.
Much better cup tie now, though, isn't it? Excited with Wimbledon having to push forward. And Chelsea, now to their credit, still looking to get that cushion of a second goal.
Oh, that's a nice touch by Koku. Leonardson has got four others up with him here. Robbie Earl, what a good tackle by Di Matteo. Took that very cleanly. Pinched it off Earl. And now it's Wise. Hughes again. Ball was available. Burley's made a run forward into the area now. This is Zola. Burley's still there. He must be offside. Apparently, Koku's bandaged arm is just sore. It isn't a serious injury, so he's apparently still got full mobility. But whether that goes for Wimbledon as well, we'll have to wait and see. They're one down here in the FA Cup semi-final. This is Leonardson for them, to Cunningham. Chelsea's back four are in position. It's Erland Johnsen coming across. Jones may want to claim this, or will he leave it to Ardley? Captain insists it's his prerogative. There's an attempt to make a substitution on the far side by Wimbledon, but looking at where Mr. Ashby is, it may have to wait. Jones will take the throw. And it's Cunningham. And it's Cunningham again. And he went over Clark, kept his feet somehow. Johnson and Burley headed it out in the end. Hughes, well, that was a dangerous moment for Chelsea. And here's Zola. They're getting a bit more space on the break now, Chelsea. It's going to be Wimbledon who'll make the change when the ball goes out of play. This is Kimball. Koku just bending his run here. Sinclair will let that run out. Now then, the first substitution of the semi-final. Dean Holdsworth, what an up and down season he's had, and he's going to replace Neil Ardley.
Well, it's a usual tactical move at this stage. Ardley, I think, has done quite well on the right-hand side. A bit unlucky, but you know, who else you take off? Erland Leonardson in the attacking midfielders, Vinnie Jones as skipper, and you want to play that third man up front. Usually Dean Holdsworth plays up alongside Gale and Akuku goes more to the right, but at the moment Dean Holdsworth just having a chat. Let's see how they settle down, but normally Akuku would come over to this right hand side.
A few chunks of Dino as he came on. He scored as a substitute in the last round at Sheffield Wednesday to lock the game up for Wimbledon. And he is an out-and-out finisher, Dean Holdsworth, so they're playing 3 up now, as you say. Jones, offside flags up against Koku. Does that require any change in Chelsea's formation?
Well, I think Ruud Gullit will have a look at it because, of course, they've only got a back 4, and they might need a big Johnson and Leboeuf for the 2 central defenders. But Sinclair and Clark both played central defence as one of 3 this season, so they'll be quite comfortable to tuck in and almost do without one of the fullbacks.
Okay, this is Wise. Di Matteo is square of him. Zola's made a run right to left now, nipping in there. Oh, he's turned well, Zola! It's Zola! It's there! It's Chelsea's second! It's the Italian, Gianfranco Zola! Is that the goal that points Chelsea in the direction of Wembley? Oh, it was his first major contribution, but the run he made was so clever.
Well, this is quite magnificent turn. Blackwell completely wrong-footed, and he just drills it low into the corner. Sullivan, no chance. Di Matteo, look at the turn. He knows where he's going. His balance is magnificent and no chance at all. Wonderful, wonderful goal.
The 2 Italians combining to put Chelsea 2-0 up in the semi-final. And it's a pretty desperate cause here, but Gale for Wimbledon to Holdsworth. If they got one back quickly, you never know what might happen. But as it is, 64 minutes gone at Highbury. Chelsea 2, Wimbledon 0. Hughes the first goal, Zola the second. And here's Wise, and Chelsea playing with a bit of freedom now. Di Matteo's on this side of the pitch as well, and he's onside. Hughes in the centre, being joined by Craig Burley. Di Matteo, and it's going to be a corner.
Well, Wimbledon made the substitution. They then got caught unbalanced. The second goal now. They could get run a little bit ragged down this side because Ardley's no longer down the right, and this is where the space is.
There's a right old celebration going on at that end of the ground at the moment. Johnson is forward for the corner, so is Steve Clark. It's Wise on the ball. It's out for Di Matteo. But he's been beaten by Koku, and Wimbledon have 3-on-3. They have Holdsworth to the left and Leonardson to the right, and only 3 defenders. Koku goes alone, and he's still going. They get a block in. Holdsworth comes in from the far side. Leonardson with the goalkeeper, and now we've got a real semi-final.
Great tackle by Leboeuf there. Good run from Koku. Thinking about releasing it, but it was at the other end where it was a breathtaking bit of skill, wasn't it? Di Matteo, there's the turn. Knew exactly what he was going to do, and well, a wonderful finish.
Well, that gives Zola, like Mark Hughes, 12 goals for the season. They're now joint top scorers, the 2 who've scored today. And when Zola arrived, after the season had started, here's Hughes. The picture changed at Stamford Bridge. There was some cunning and some inventiveness brought to the attack. And the little run that he made from right to left really set the chance up. This is Hughes now. Di Matteo wants it. It was his reading of the situation that really put Zola in, wasn't it?
It was, and perhaps the other Italian sitting on the bench, Vialli, would now realise why he's sitting there, because Zola and Hughes, I think, have proved the choice of their manager.
Well, they're singing the blue flag from Stamford Bridge to Wembley. Well, it may be from Highbury to Wembley for Ruud Gullit now. Gianluca Vialli looks happy enough at the back, doesn't he?
Perhaps his manager has whispered to him, last 5 minutes, if it stays 2-0, I'll bring you on, and he'll have a little air into the semi-final. It looks as if he's ready to come on, doesn't he? But I can't see Ruud Gullit changing it whilst this scoreline stays like this.
Just a point there, the attendance is not capacity here today at Highbury. If you see the crowd in the papers, because Wimbledon didn't sell all their tickets and they can't be reallocated because of segregation these days. It rather looks as though Chelsea may have bought the ticket for the final, unless Wimbledon can produce a great semi-final recovery, which is what's required from their point of view now.
It's a major mental blow, though, when you're just brought on an attacking option as substitute to push 3 up, and within 2 minutes, Chelsea go up the other end and score the second goal. It certainly has given them the initiative now, and they're looking very good.
Mind you, Wimbledon do have a throw here, which Jones will take. It's going towards Gale. Chelsea have to keep abreast of all that in the penalty area. Leonardson. And here's a Koku, and Clark, just let him go for a second there. In support is Cunningham, holds within the middle. And it's a Koku again. And that rebounded conveniently for Di Matteo. He's got, what a striding run this is by the midfield player. Zola to his left, is in space again. Hughes and Burnley make ground to the far side. Offside flag is up.
Well, it was close. Zola was waiting. He realised the danger of the offside, and when Di Matteo releases it, not quite the ideal angle, but I think it just perhaps he'd run a yard off. But even at 2-0 and Wimbledon pushing for, you do feel there's still perhaps another goal or so to come yet.
Well, it's certainly opened up, hasn't it, in the last 10 minutes or so, this semi-final. Here's Cunningham, and this is a Koku. Trying to force it through to Gale, but Chelsea break it up again. That touch is by Hughes, and look at the way Zola collected that. He was 5 yards away before anybody from Wimbledon could get near it. It's still Zola, and it's still Zola! Sparkling run.
Well, it's great when he's flowing in his game like this. He was shackled a lot with the physical presence, I think, of the match in the first 45 minutes, but he and Hughes now are linking up magnificently there. Well, it must have hit a defender, I think, the shot, rather than Sullivan get the touch.
But it's anyway a corner which Wise has collected now from Zola. Yeah, that looked almost bound for the far corner and 3-0, didn't it? Here's Wise again. This is Eddie Newton. Short ball to Erland Johnsen in attack. That hit Vinnie Jones. It's all with Chelsea at the moment, with about 20 minutes to go. Unless, of course, Wimbledon can dig something out of their considerable mental resources, but it's all Chelsea now. Burley. And away by Leonardson. Chelsea are well stocked at the back here. They've got all 4 men in a line, forcing Wimbledon back into their own half, and indeed even further back than that. Now a Koku. Free kick to Wimbledon. Gale closing in here. It's Marcus Gale. How well Chelsea have defended those crosses. This is Leonardson, though. And now it's Cunningham, and they're still lined up in there at Wimbledon. Leonardson feeds Cunningham again. And they've got a corner.
We're just going into the last 20 minutes of the match. It's an important few minutes now, because if Wimbledon can get just the 1 goal back, we are set up for a pulsating last little quarter of an hour, but they do need to get 1 back now.
Gale near post, Jones in the 6-yard box. Koku and Earl to come from deep. Perry's there trying to swing the overhead. Look at this block by Chelsea. Wimbledon have got players caught at the wrong end of the field. And Roberto Di Matteo has got Zola and Hughes to his right. This one's going to go to Zola. Hughes now spins outside him. There's Hughes, but Zola didn't quite get the touch on it.
Robbie Earl did well, actually. He ran 80 yards to chase back with Di Matteo, because it was 3 against 2 if he didn't bother, and in the end they just shut out Chelsea, because the third goal, of course, would take the game well beyond it. But
here's Wise, offside against Burley, but the flag is being contested a little there by a few people.
it took an eternity to come up, didn't it? I mean, when the ball was played, I don't think he was offside. It was a great ball from Dennis White. It's been very influential. A good game.
This is Earl. And now it's Leonardson. He's got Cunningham outside him. Holdsworth now joining Koku, Earl and Gale in the middle. This is Cunningham. It's in first time by Vinnie Jones. Brunos still looking like a man in charge of that area.
Yeah, he's catching them now. He's not just punching and flapping at them. And no, I think the whole defence has done exceptionally well, because it has been a weakness for them all season. They must have worked really hard on it in the training ground, because they've competed superbly at the back. The Buff coming back, I think, and organising them has been important, but certainly Johnson has done an excellent job as well in the air.
Here's Dean Holdsworth for Wimbledon. Chance possibly to get it across to Koku. It's Holdsworth again, and Marcus Gale is there. Offside. Offside. It wouldn't have mattered. Koku. They're hanging their heads, Wimbledon. They feel they missed a chance, but in fact, the flag was up. It wouldn't have been a goal.
Well, that was the one that got away. Holdsworth should have done better with the first one, and then when it comes back to Gale, I think if that ends up in the back of the net, then it doesn't matter where Koku is. But of course it bobbled across the face of the goal, and then he becomes active and was offside.
The psychology of Ruud Gullit has been most interesting this week. When there were rumours of discontent in the Chelsea camp and rows behind the scenes, he turned it round and told the press in a very lively conference on Friday that it was all a master plan to get people at each other's throats and improve eventually the team spirit by a process of having the arguments out. He says it worked when he was with Holland and with AC Milan, and he was involved in a few then, wasn't he, as a player. Here's Gale. Now Robbie Earl. Chelsea trying to surround him. This is Koku, and that's a corner. Is there still life left in Wimbledon? With a quarter of an hour to go in the FA Cup semi-final. Kimball comes across to take the corner. It's the same lineup in the middle. Holdsworth has gone far post. It's going to come out, I think, towards Dean Blackwell there. Vinnie Jones will want to take the long throw if it, yes. Blackwell and Gale are the players facing Jones for the flick on. It's a good header out. Sinclair. Zola. Linesman flags for a Chelsea throw, and Zola on the move again, and yet again a Chelsea ball. Once more Zola up against Blackwell. Hughes in the centre by the penalty spot. Di Matteo hanging back. The back heel finds Burley. That's his cross. It's too long for Hughes. It's a loose one from Clark. It's back by Perry. Oh, and Clark lost the place again there. That's two poor passes from him. This is Cunningham. Now it's Leonardson. Arms up in the 18-yard box there. This is Holdsworth. Cunningham again. Wimbledon pushing it around a bit. Leonardson back again to Cunningham. Tackle. Oh, yes. Clark in the end was decisive.
Yeah, another good tackle from Steve Clark here. One, didn't he, a couple of minutes before near the byline, and again, although Zola and Hughes, I'm sure, will get the headlines if that scoreline stays as it is. I think a real pat on the back for that defence of Chelsea. Much maligned this season, and quite often by myself, because they've conceded more goals than anyone else in the top half of the Premiership. But this afternoon, they've all done their job superbly.
Oh, Zola extinguished a few English hopes at Wembley, didn't he, in the World Cup? And he may well have put this semi-final beyond the reach of battling Wimbledon. They'll always do that, but it has to be said that whereas Chelsea have created openings, Wimbledon today have found it difficult, apart from crosses, to really test the goalkeeper. This is a Koku. They might now. Leboeuf on the break. Chelsea are finding space. Leboeuf will continue his run here. I'll have to stop now because the momentum has slowed. This is Wise. Oh, he's there again, Leboeuf in the centre circle. He's got Hughes ahead of him and Burley. Still Leboeuf. That's laid in for Mark Hughes, but he would have needed an extra yard to find that.
Yeah, I thought Leboeuf was going to hit it himself. He just changed his mind. Just slightly overhit the ball. Mark Hughes, of course, is still 33, so perhaps not quite got the acceleration.
Jones looking for Kimball for Wimbledon. They've got 4 forwards up in this attack. Leonardson's there. Burley gets a foot in. Ooh, Chelsea have defended with resilience today. That's got to be the word, I think. It's run right through the team in a way. Di Matteo. Zola's had another one of those runs left to right. Left room for Di Matteo to shoot. One Italian using the other as a decoy. Here's Wise. Hughes. Already knew every Chelsea pass being cheered. Zola. Well, to say that Chelsea have got control of the match at the moment would be an understatement. They only need to be... They only need to be set. He's on again. To be sensible here, and Wembley is coming ever nearer for Ruud Gullit's team. And Zola's now won the ball cleanly and got past the challenge. That's wonderful play by the Italian. Here's Di Matteo. It's curled, and Sullivan's there.
Well, they're playing well now, aren't they, Chelsea? Making Wimbledon work to try and get possession, and then Zola unlocking the door again. Di Matteo ignoring Dennis's wise overlapping run. The pace of the shot not quite going to beat Sullivan though.
Well, I saw a sublime performance on this pitch yesterday from Bergkamp. Zola is turning on something similar today. He set up Di Matteo there. This is Jones. Looking for Leonardson. Well, still Wimbledon press. Jones waves them into the centre. He's going to take the corner himself. It's short towards Marcus Gale. Oh, and the goalkeeper, who had Leboeuf on the line, but Rodos took responsibility, as he has all afternoon, or all lunchtime, as it probably should be said. Here's Zola. They'll enjoy their Sunday lunch if they win this, Chelsea. Zola with 3 up alongside him. It's still Zola, and now it's Di Matteo. And he just rather lost it there to Cunningham, and it's Wimbledon who are able to break away in the last 10 minutes now with Leonardson. Just think we'll have to put this performance of Zola's into context if it stays like this, because, as you say, he is going to figure in some headlines. This is Kimball. And it's Holdsworth for Wimbledon. They're not finished. Ikoku was not helped by the cross, though. Driven away by Burley towards Hughes. He tangles with Blackwell. Ken Bates, the Chelsea chairman, who was typically forthright in one of the newspaper interviews yesterday about all sorts of things, but the fact of the matter is that Chelsea Football Club, on and off the field, are on something of a roll. New stands going up and foreign players displaying their skills. Holdsworth! Just reminding us it may be a little too early to eulogise about Chelsea, because Wimbledon have a shot or two left in their locker. That was the substitute, Dean Holdsworth.
Yeah, Ruud Gullit not too happy on the bench. He got off his chair there, and he and Graham Rick trying to shout and make sure those sort of opportunities are not given to Wimbledon. Looks mean, doesn't he, just for once, a shake of the old dreadlocks. But deep down, he must be very happy.
Well, as I said, it's been a week when he's been tested, and his response was, shall we say, a little unusual, but it appears to have been effective. So committed have the Chelsea defence been. Matching Wimbledon, challenge for challenge, fire with fire. Headed on by Gale, here's Earl. Neither Wimbledon player quite sure who would have been best placed to strike that. Instead, Leboeuf tries to clear it and doesn't succeed. Gives himself another little job to do. Wise. And Chelsea themselves have just lost the thread for a moment here. What do you generally see as the main difference here between the two sides? Zola?
Well, I think we always said Chelsea have got the skill, particularly up front with Hughes, the way he holds the play up, and Zola's brilliant individual play. But what you have to do against Wimbledon is match them for effort and the aggression and the power, and Chelsea's defence have done that superbly, and so having matched them, in the end the skill has come out on top.
And here's one of the men who's done it, Mark Hughes. Flags up, I think that's against Hughes. Well, 5 cup finals will it be? What a record he had with Manchester United, and he looks as if he's going to extend it. Wembley Warrior scored the first goal today. And there he is again with Vinnie Jones. Say also that after a couple of early bookings, here's Holdsworth's cross. The game has been keenly but fairly contested, and I think Mr. Ashby's had a good match too. Zola. Any moment now, I'm going to have to ask Trevor Brooking to think about a man of the match for this Littlewoods FA Cup semi-final. You want a few more minutes, do you?
Well, I mean, there have been some excellent performances. Defensively, I thought they've been great at the back, Chelsea. The first influence organisation. Johnson's won a lot of power in the air, and Clark and Sinclair either side have competed exceptionally well. All of them have done the job, but in the end, you know, a semi-final, I think, is a stage where you like to be entertained, you like to see a bit of flair and individual skill, and I think Zola in the second half, I mean, he was involved in the first goal, but I think the second half performance has been quite magnificent.
He might clinch it here. It's Zola on the right for Chelsea. And this is great burn, it's a deflection. And it's just hit the roof of the net. It's going to be a corner. The deflection was off a Wimbledon player, says Mr. Ashby. Zola pulls it back. Burley shoots. Yes, it was off the heels. And Chelsea here in the last 5 minutes have a 2-0 lead and a corner. Zola. By Leonardson on Wise. Wise, who captained Chelsea in their FA Cup final defeat 3 years ago. Looks as though he's going to be leading them out at Wembley again. Past Jones. Goal kick.
There he is, and I mean, I'm looking forward, I think, to seeing him at Wembley again. Might not hear many Englishmen say that after what he did to England, of course, but he's got such wonderful balance, twists and turns with both feet, and he's such an advantage, to have in your side, because he has conjured up some wonderful moments in this second half, none better than the goal itself.
Here's Zola now, working his... Oh, look at that, exquisite. Burley got away. Hughes is waiting in the centre here for a cross. There's Hughes! Cut off two Wimbledon defenders who shut him down. Eddie Newton. Well, this will prompt some party among Chelsea supporters. If it's Zola again. And Di Matteo and Zola. It's really opened up here for Chelsea. Zola should have been three. Really should have been three. Zola, and before him Di Matteo, had so much room there against the tired and beleaguered Wimbledon defence.
Zola could have just laid it to Dennis Wise, quite honestly. I think he feels he's in the mood to just hit the back of the net at any time, but they're rampant at the moment. I think there it is again. Dennis Wise, look at the space there. He's worked very, very hard. I think he's had an excellent match as well, Dennis Wise. But I think it's just a word of sympathy now for Wimbledon, because I can't see what just 4 minutes left. Than getting anything out of this match and this season, which is a great shame, because they have contributed superbly, not only in the league, but getting to the semi-final of both cup competitions. And that man there, I think, has done an excellent job on a small budget compared to everyone else. So, well done to what they've achieved, but it's the day for Chelsea.
This will be the first defeat they've had, Wimbledon, in 15 cup ties this season. They didn't even lose in the Coca-Cola semi-final. They went out on the away goal, if you remember. Now, Vinnie Jones to take the throw. Cunningham. It goes back again to Jones. Chelsea still defend the penalty area well. That's the sign of a tired captain. Chipping the ball out of play. And it looks as if even that indomitable Wimbledon spirit has been quenched today by a Chelsea side who seem to have got better as the game has gone along. Just thinking about the Littlewoods Cup final, if Middlesbrough were to get there, and that's no disrespect to Chesterfield, who I think have got a chance this afternoon, how many foreigners there might be on the pitch at Wembley on May the 17th, but that's for another time. Certainly one of them has made an impact today. This is Earl. Sounds a bit rude, really, foreigners, isn't it? Overseas imports, Trevor.
Well, because that's why they've been brought here. Some of them are paid huge amounts of money, and some say that perhaps they've paid too much for what they contribute, but I think we're seeing one today who can't be criticised in that way.
Leonardson! Just a snapshot here and there from Wimbledon that could have, perhaps, at certain moments in the game, turned things back their way. But, as they say in semi-finals, if it's not your day, then you're quickly forgotten. And I don't think Wimbledon deserve to be forgotten for the reasons that Trevor just mentioned. It's been a terrific season by their standards. Supporters will be disappointed. And if you'd said when they started out and lost at home to Manchester United on the opening day of the season that they would be challenging for a European place in 3 competitions, I think they might have settled for that, even though it doesn't look as though they will be playing in Europe now.
I can assure you it's no consolation at this moment, though. Having got so far and then to end up with nothing, it's going to hurt them this season.
Highbury is awash with Chelsea flags. We have come up to the 90-minute mark in the FA Cup semi-final, the first of the 2 to be played today, and Chelsea are leading Wimbledon comfortably by 2-0 and look as though they're going to reach the FA Cup final in Ruud Gullit's first season in charge. And they've got possession as well at the moment. Here's Di Matteo, little flick to Zola.
Ruud Gullit's putting together a squad and a team now. I think they will grace Wembley on FA Cup final day. They've got some excellent players, and Lefebvre and Zola, I think, are 2 of the best of those foreign players.
He's onside, Mark Hughes. It came off Chris Berry. Can he make it 3? Yes, he can! It's Hughes again! And Gullit's team are there now. Hughes back at Wembley. Gullit there in his first year. 3-0 Chelsea. 2 for Mark Hughes. What a battler he is, and what an achiever he is. They thought he might have come from Manchester United on a bit of a sinecure, one or two people. How utterly wrong they were. He's playing some of the best football of his career. And that's the moment when the coach knows that Chelsea are in the FA Cup final for sure.
What happened to the laid-back Mr. Hullett there? I think he's quite pleased. Well done to him. Mark Hughes even confident enough to put it in with his left foot. And a convincing performance.
Well, there'll be some great scenes here now. This has finished up as one of the most emphatic semi-final victories, even though the first half hour of the match was so tight. But once Mark Hughes got the goal just before half-time, the 43rd minute, things changed. Wimbledon had no answer to Chelsea's imagination, but I think also Chelsea's competitiveness, because they matched Wimbledon where everybody thought they might be weaker. In the air, on crosses, it was all there, and Zola just put the icing on the cake when they broke away. Leboeuf led the back four superbly. And also it would be nice to mention the late Matthew Harding, whose wife Ruth is there in the stand. The tragedy in the helicopter accident cast a shadow over Chelsea for a while, but my goodness, how he would have enjoyed this day. The fans are going to let it continue here for quite some time. Well, what a good tactical decision Hullett made. Dispensed with the 5 at the back and with the wing-backs, picked an orthodox back 4, said to Wimbledon, right, stick it up in the air and we'll send it straight back. And that's what Chelsea did, and the goalkeeper too played one of his best games, I would have thought, in the Chelsea jersey. Well, there's nothing more you can say about Hughes, being embraced there by Graham Rix. What a career, and there's a Wembley Cup final still to come.
Well, it was a great display, wasn't it? I mean, you know, the second half, it was a sort of day with the weather where I think extremely difficult for Wimbledon to keep up the pace of the match for 90 minutes, and the longer the game went on, the more space came, and really Zola made the most of it. Hughes with his power to hold the ball up while people joined, and Zola either side of him bewitching defenders with his trickery. And it was a great second half, great cup tie in the second half, and we can forget about that opening 45 minutes, which was pretty dour. And even Mr. Vialli is delighted, isn't it? All that animosity in the early week, I think it will be forgotten about this weekend.
Well, Ruud Hullett said confrontation was good for the soul, and he's been proved absolutely correct on this day. The scenes will go on here for quite some time, but the fact of the matter is that Chelsea, beaten in the cup final 3 years ago, they haven't won it since 1970. They go through to Wembley on May the 17th to play the winners of Middlesbrough and Chesterfield, and they do so in emphatic style, having beaten Wimbledon by 3-0.
Well, joyous scenes for the Chelsea supporters. You have to feel sorry for those who came from Wimbledon today to watch their team. They really didn't perform in the end, and Chelsea took what was coming their way, Alan Hansen, in the first half, and then won it well in the second half.
Yeah, I thought they defended excellently. I thought the keeper was terrific. Johnson and Leboeuf outstanding. But Zola was fantastic. Zola and Hughes up front, great partnership. Everybody's talking about bad team spirit at Chelsea. I don't see much bad team spirit there in these pictures.
No, not at all. Ken Bates won it for them, and he's feeling good about it.
I was just thinking that Ruud won't be able to pull the same trick, if it was a trick, for the final, will he? That the dressing room is in disarray, and the club is falling to pieces, and then all of a sudden they produce a performance like that.
You've got to feel sorry for Wimbledon, but the better team definitely won the game. They had the quality in the forward positions, and it was just a question if they were going to defend well, and they certainly did that. But the second goal from Zola was outstanding. I mean,
we'll have another look at that in a moment, but as you say, they did defend well, didn't they, Chelsea, today? That's where they've been in jeopardy, haven't they, especially in the air.
In the air. As I say, the goalkeeper performed heroics, but I thought Hullett bringing in Johnson was tactically correct. It was terrific.
Right.
He was brilliant there.
Okay, thanks for the moment. Let's just now hear from Ray Stubbs.
Gentlemen, congratulations. First of all, Mark Hughes. What a performance from your side today. Yeah, we're under a little bit of pressure because we haven't been playing particularly well just of late, but it all came good today. I'm proud of everybody.
Mr. Zola, what a game for you. Going to Wembley now, what do you make of that for an English FA Cup final?
Yeah, this is a very good thing for me, for Chelsea, because I think all our supporters wanted to go to Wimbledon, and I wanted to go the same, because it's a great satisfaction today. Well, very. Now I'm finished my vocabulary.
Dennis, he's been sensational for you the whole season, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been magnificent, so has Yuzi, to be honest though. You forgot about Yuzi's been magnificent as well, and all the lads today at the back, I thought they're superb.
Let's see your vest, what's the message there?
It's just one, I've had it all the way through. It's cheer up, Luke, we love you. It's just a little one that I had a little joke with him, just to cheer him up a little bit before the derby game, and ever since for the cup games, I've kept it. And,
nothing wrong with team spirit with Chelsea today, was there?
Okay, the boys are looking good, feeling good, and we had a lot of minds the last 2 games. We've had it a lot on this game, you know, and we've showed how good we are.
Gentlemen, thanks for talking to us. All the best to Wembley.
Well, I think they've been favourites to win the Cup since about the 4th round, Chelsea, and they're certainly on song at the moment. I mean, whoever they end up playing next month, you'll probably fancy them right now. Now let's hear what Ruud Gullit has to say about it.
Well, you've had a startling career. What does an English FA Cup final mean to you now?
Something extra on my career. I always hoped to be in a lot of finals, and if you are there, that you're going to win it.
Nothing wrong with Chelsea team spirit today, was there?
I knew that already from the start. You know, I knew that the team was thinking about this game. Everybody was saying that we couldn't cope with the strength and the hustle and whatever. And then today, they couldn't do nothing, because we handled it well and we played very patient and good football also.
Everyone talks about Mr. Zola and Mr. Hughes, but your goalkeeper and your defenders were sensational today. Would you agree?
Yeah, you can see that they were really tuned in, and we changed also some things. I saw the Dons playing against Newcastle at home, and I knew exactly what I had to do against them, and it worked very well today.
You can really feel that Chelsea fans just want you to win a trophy.
You can just see that they have the feeling that there is something in it, and we have the same feeling. The only thing is that we have to be more consistent and not only focus yourself on one thing. And of course, I can't always change that immediately in 1 year, but of course, you hope as a coach that they will do it week in, week out. And we are not yet on that level, but we are working hard on it.
Would you agree it'd be a great tribute to Matthew Harding to win the Cup for Chelsea this season?
Yeah, but a great tribute to him, but also to the fans who have been magnificent, and also to our chairman, Mr. Ken Bates, because he works very well for the club. He works very hard. He does more than most people think he does.
Ruud, thank you very much. Congratulations. Enjoy Wembley.
Oh, he's done a great job. How would you have enjoyed playing against Zola in your time?
Different as well. I mean, I think his movement off the ball is fantastic. He's very tricky on it, but his movement, he leaves defenders for dead.
The only compensation, Des, the only I've got to say, if he's going to take over your job, he's got to improve his English. There's no danger.
Hansen or Zola?
Well, either.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have to go. I hope you've enjoyed it. And the marathon before that, we've got Tiger Woods to watch later in the day. And, of course, highlights of the second semi-final at 6:40.